here we have it, guys. This is my front bumper. Now, as promised, I'm going to be repairing the damage here. From the looks of it, somebody definitely already tried doing something. I can't really tell what they did here. This is really far gone. So they put screws in the back of this thing with wire mesh to try to hold the cracks together. I mean, really, in this scenario here where you got so much damage, you just want to replace it. Just replace it. But I want that YouTube gold. I need a play button, baby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to repair this damage using a, let's see here, this is all good. Yeah, we got some serious damage. Using a plastic welding kit. I mean, really though? Come on, man. Who was this guy? Ay. We got our work cut out for us here. But I guarantee you we're going to make it work. This is pretty extreme. But you know what? I bet you we bring her back to life. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because I like the idea that a before and after is going to be quite the transformation on this. And hopefully whoever did this to this car is watching and not only embarrassed, but can learn how to do it the right way. This is crazy. This kid. Oh, man. All right. Well, without further ado, let's start talking about what we're going to need. First off, always going to need the sander. That's a must. But we are going to need to remove the wrap that is on the bumper. So we got a heat gun to heat it up, make it peeling a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to be a mess though, because I don't know how long that wrap's on there or what kind of quality it is. We're going to need the Dremel, because we are going to have to take one of these, probably the sander there, and cut down the plastic, make a little groove, because what we have here is our plastic welder. Now, much as he did before, instead of using screws, we're going to use heat and melt some of this mesh into the plastic. That's what's going to keep it together, because it's going to still, because that bond was broken, it's still going to want to separate, but that mesh is going to keep it together. This right here is your polyurethane welding sticks. We're going to be using this on the bumper to fill in whatever we take out, and then finishing glaze putty to smooth everything off after we're all done sanding it down, making it smooth. That's everything we're going to need. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so little update. Turns out this guy was just pretty stupid. So this is crazy. So what he did was he was drilling holes on the inside and using the mesh to hold the bumper together. I assume he'd been trying to keep the cracks together, but the cracks were completely separating the piece altogether. So this piece has been fully de-wrapped, unwrapped, as normal people would say. And I got the top part there. Still need to work on the other half here. Now the bottom half, I think it's important to note that I'm not too worried about it, due to the fact that I do have sorry about that noise. I do have a front lip, and that lip is it's gonna save us. So if you ever have a bumper where the whole bottom lip is all chipped up like this and jacked up, obviously that's a real killjoy. So little tip, you get a lip, slap it on there, it'll hide it. And in this case, it's gonna help keep this bumper together. Definitely guys, get a new bumper. Don't do this. I'm doing this purely for the sake of coming up with new content, and I don't even know if I could do this. This is crazy. I've only fixed cracks. I've never welded a bumper back together, so this will be a little bit of an experiment, but I mean, if I could pull this off, that's pretty dope. So anyhow, let's continue forward. Now we're moving on to the next step. I have the full bumper all taken apart. Obviously I have two pieces here. I'm gonna have to weld this and this to the other half of the bumper. But for now, what we're gonna do, since it's conveniently in two pieces, I am gonna go ahead and, for demonstration's sake, I'm gonna fix this right here. We wanna take all this, we're gonna grind it down on both sides. Same with this right here. Grind it down on both sides there, and then we're gonna come in and start melting down this polyurethane. See if we can fix it. For this, I have my Dremel tool. This is a 4300 series. It's got adjustable RPMs and a few attachments to make it pretty nice. But basically, I use this so that I can get in here. We want to cut like a V channel all the way through, and it'll get us a nice, clean, good looking job. Now, as you can see, we've got a channel built all the way along the crack here, and you want that on both sides. As you can see here, got that channel built all the way across. That way we can build up some of that plastic. We're going to sand a lot of this down too after we build it up, but you want to sand that down. Now, from the back, we're going to be working the back side of this. We have cut out some of these mesh wires here because we're going to place them down. After we heat up the plastic, we're going to take these, place them down onto the cracks on the back here. This right here is going to give it strength. And we're going to melt this into the polyurethane itself. So you're going to set it up, put it into strategic spots here where it needs to be strengthened. And then what you're going to do is just essentially, we're going to just weld these into place. Just like that. That's going to keep it strong. We're going to do the cosmetic stuff on the other side, but the back side still needs something to keep that crack from coming back after we weld it. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to take the heat gun here. I've been letting it warm up. I'm going to put some heat on the back of this thing. Try not to get your face too close to it because I'm going to be a lot of fumes here. What I'm doing, I'm going all along this crack here. I'm pressing the tip into it. I'm making little triangles, little grooves, if you will. Just pressing into it. Okay. Now I'll take my first strip. I have down here on the floor. We'll lay it down. And here comes the interesting part. Get it into place. I want to get it good. Get one spot, just apply pressure, melt it in, and it'll stay into place. And do the same as you go along. Trying to bury this metal into the plastic here. Once you worked an area, back off, go to the other end of the strip because you want that plastic to set up. Continue to try and push it in. Just trying to get the plastic to just bury this thing. You're melting it into the plastic. So as you can see here, we got it melted in, real good melting all of the surface here. And then the next step, we want to bury all this with plastic welding rod. It's really easy to work with because it's flat. So you just lay it down and start to melt it into place. Just like that. So now you already have the wire melted in. But what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a chunk of it. I'm taking the edge of the knife and laying it down. And then as I'm laying it down, I'm pulling up on the stick to melt the stick, break it away. And then I take that piece that I just melted down and I'm pressing it in. So again, we're going to come over here on the edge. I'll pull up on the stick to get it to break free. But first I want to get this to set into place. Melting it into place, applying pressure, pulling the stick, break it away. Now I'm dragging it along, spreading it like a putty knife. Melting it down. Awesome. Now as you can see, got good coverage there. You got your weld all reinforced from the back. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up the rest of this, and then we're going to flip it over and I'm going to show you how to fill in those cracks. That is all welded in. It is all reinforced, so it's strong and it's ready for the other side. We got to fill all this in now. And then after we fill it all in, we're going to sand it all down and try to get it as smooth as possible and see if maybe this bad boy comes out looking halfway decent. have it. So as you can see, we filled it in. There are some low spots, so I wanted to double back over it. All this right here is kind of a little bit low, but that's all right. The low spots we're not too worried about. You just don't want it too low because, again, we're going for restructuring this piece here. It's lost some of its structure. Now, as you can see, as I twist this, no cracks coming back through. But we're going to structure test it right here because you want to make sure that your welds and everything held up. And as expected, they held up real good. That right there is structurally intact, and now we got to make it look good. So we take the sander to it, and we're going to knock down all this high stuff as soon as it cools off. And then we'll hit it with a finishing putty. That finishing putty will be able to give us that nice smooth surface that we're going to need, because obviously we don't want to leave this black. It's just unpainted. I should also mention, if your bumper is painted, you will need to sand all of that paint off. This is unpainted. This guy just replaced the bumper and didn't give a damn, so easy. All right, let's get to the next step. Now, without further ado, we're going to come through, we're going to touch all this up, let it sit, and then sand it down. For that, I'm going to be using the U-Pole Dolphin Glaze. I really like this stuff. This stuff sands so easy. It's awesome. I'll put a link for this down in the description below. We got blue hardener, little spreader, and cardboard box because hashtag broke life. All right, let's do this. So for this stage, now all we have to do is we're going to come through. We got all this feathered out, got it all filled in, smooth, got rid of all those welding spots. Last step here is to get some primer on it. Get it all sealed up and ready for the wrap. Let's get it. All right, well, there you have it. That was in 2 pieces, and now it's been welded up. The little fairing piece down here still has a little crack in it, but and that piece right there, up there, and down there, that's screwed into that. I have some actual wide body flare nuts that I'm going to be sticking in there, but temporarily we're going to have to reuse these horrible, I mean, everything on here needs a great deal of work, but one step at a time. Front bumper's been welded, put back together. looking pretty good. I got it primed and ready for the wrap. I don't want to go ahead and paint it or anything because it's good just the way it is. So let's get her put on the car. See what it looks like. She's all back together. Oh, that was a journey. It's a little dirty. I still have to clean it. Obviously the rest of the car is pretty dirty too, but we got the bumper fixed, boys. That's step one. There's a lot more to do. I have to fix this or maybe replace it. I'm thinking about replacing it, but I might fix it just for their content. Doing fiberglass repair. There's some dents and stuff on the hood I want to fix. Obviously hail damage on the roof. A lot of stuff. Back bumper. Look what we got here. I don't know if there's anything on this thing that hasn't been molested. We're gonna fix it all. We're gonna get these fender flares all cleaned up. We're gonna make sure the stance is right on it. Fix that trunk. Peel off all this wrap. I'm gonna get it, boys. Windshield needs to be fixed. There it is, though. So if anybody tells you you can't fix it, that ain't right, boys. If it's on a car, chances are you can fix it. It's gonna be a little bit of work. God knows that was a lot of work. Damn, paid off though. 10,000 times better than it was. It ain't perfect. Still needs to be sanded down and needs a wrap installed. But obviously I want to get all the body work done before we install the wrap. We have the wrap ready to go. But until next time, guys, like, subscribe so that you don't miss out on future content. Take care.